Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/Am I the Asshole, where a cheating wife is about to face the serious consequences of her actions. Let's begin. Am I the asshole for refusing to pay alimony to my cheating ex-wife? Posted by Reddit user Wanchai Warrior.
I met my wife in my early 30s. She was in her mid-20s at the time. I was already well established and had made a significant amount of money working as a quant and investing my savings diligently. She, on the other hand, had never gone to college and was content working for basically minimum wage. So when I met her, we clicked instantly and I fell head over heels for her. We got married, moved in together, and soon after have 3 kids. When we were expecting our firstborn, she had told me she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Obviously I was jealous, but I went along with it since it seemed logical. So she spends the next 20+ years as a stay-at-home mom taking care of our kids while I work 12-hour days and then some. I'm not demeaning stay-at-home moms, by the way, but in the context of our marriage, she had an extremely easygoing lifestyle. A couple years ago I discovered she had been cheating on me with her friend's husband. Divorce obviously followed. The only major asset we had in the US was our house, which was a premarital asset. We had a shared bank account, but since I am a finance guy I handled all our investments, and for tax reasons invested it abroad in my home country. Now if we had just grown apart or she said she was unhappy, I'd have no problem paying what's fair, but the fact that she cheated on me is what makes me resent paying her a cent. So in the divorce she is awarded half of our investments made during marriage, 90% of which are abroad in my name, along with alimony for 20 years for 30% of my pay. So here I am given an opportunity to get out of this entirely by moving back to my home country and never looking back. So I sell our house as fast as possible, move the money abroad, move back to my home country while stringing her along about why it's taking so long to liquidate our savings. Once abroad, I immediately stop alimony payments. Now she has no legal recourse, I've double-checked with lawyers, and is left with her share of the small amount we had in the States. The reason I'm asking here is that my own children are split on this. My son is on my side 100%, while my daughters are 90% on their mother's side. I figured it would be interesting to see the opinions of people here.
No, you are absolutely not the asshole, OP. I don't even understand why the majority of the comments are saying that you are. I would do the exact same thing if I was in your position. Why the hell should she be rewarded for cheating on you, for destroying her marriage, destroying her family? She lived an easy and comfortable life for 20+ years. All she had to do was to not spread her legs for another man. She can't even do that. And she did it to her friend's husband. How despicable. Actions have consequences. Bad decisions should never be rewarded. You did nothing wrong, OP. Live well. And now for today's second story. My wife cheated, filed for divorce, and wants to be with her affair partner. Posted by Reddit user Absolute Jedi Scum.
A month ago, my wife cheated on me after catching me watching porn, which she considered cheating. She's caught me before multiple times and this time she had enough, but I don't think I deserved what she did to me. She downloaded Tinder and met up with someone quickly. I found out by looking at her computer, which was connected to her iPhone, and when she came back, I reacted quite badly as expected and threw her and her clothes out of the apartment. Because I am in the military, she calls family advocacy and they remove me from my home and she moves back in, and I am told not to contact her whatsoever. I spent 3 weeks in my supervisor's home, seeing the affair partner's phone connect to my home's internet. I see her call and text logs. I know that she has him over in my home and there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. I'm spiraling in my grief, sadness, and anger. I started reading books about fixing broken marriages and going to therapy and mental health, preparing for the day I am allowed to make contact with her again. My family and friends would call her crazy and tell me to divorce her, but I'm an old school till death do us part husband, which would be to my detriment. I would tell them that I would not make any decisions about divorce until I am allowed to speak to her again and have a conversation. When my leadership notifies me that I can finally make phone calls and texts to my wife, I call her immediately and tell her that I love her and that I want to fix our marriage. Even though we have both hurt each other deeply, my marriage is something I'm not willing to give up on, and ask her if we could both try to repair our marriage and heal together. She tells me that she doesn't have any more love for me and wants to divorce me, so she can try with the affair partner who she believes she's in love with. which doesn't make sense because she would give up a good life where I take care of her. I even bought a car for her to use when we first got stationed here. I lose all self-respect and start to beg and bargain. The whole pick-me dance, but she's set on seeing this divorce through, even implying that she would still keep seeing him while she's still technically my wife. I found out later that both nights we've talked, after our phone calls, she would have him over at my apartment again. I tell her if she's so intent on being with him in our divorce, I want her to move out of our home immediately and give up the car that I bought her, and I would pay the spousal support the military requires until the divorce is processed. I don't want to be cucked while I'm forced not to be in my own home while she's still living there. I'm angry, so I tell her mother that she's cheated on me and is still continuing to do so under my roof, and that she wants to divorce me to be with him. Now her family, my family, some of her friends and all of my friends, and even my leadership think she's out of her mind. But she's still intent to make things work with him, even if it means being without a car and moving in with him and his 4 other roommates. Literally making the worst life choices. She's agreed to give my supervisor the home and car keys this week so he can give them to me. I received the divorce papers today. I'm just in shock and still trying to process how my life and marriage was destroyed within a month. Even though I'm constantly supported by my friends and family during this time, I'm having anxiety attacks and constantly breaking down. It's just so hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel right now, and every day is a struggle to just get out of bed.
OP, just sign the goddamn papers and get her out of your life as soon as possible. Strike now while she still thinks that she's in love. OP, going on Tinder and cheating on you that quickly just for watching porn? That's just her excuse. Do not be surprised that after digging a little bit deeper that you will find out that this has been going on for a while. Anyways, for the sake of your own sanity, please grow a fucking spine. And now for today's final story. My wife wants me to reject a job offer because my ex works there. Posted by Reddit user TA Coworker X.
I have been having an argument with my wife regarding this issue for the past few days. I wanted some neutral opinions, especially from married women, on what you would do in this scenario. I work in the tech field and our research area is very niche. I had issues with my current company and started interviewing at different companies. At one of the companies, I ran into Abby, who I dated 14 years ago. We dated for 3 years and broke up amicably as I wanted to pursue further studies and she wanted me to settle down. I met my wife a year after our breakup, and I was still friends, with occasional benefits, with Abby till then. I was upfront about the whole situation with my wife, and she told me early on during our dating that my friendship with Abby bothers her. I loved my wife and was serious about us, and it was a no-brainer for me to stop hanging out with Abby. Abby was confused, but understood why I did it. We have not spoken to each other since then. My wife and I have been married for 11 years now and have one super cute toddler. During the interview process, Abby was one of the interviewers and we had a nice professional discussion. I received a job offer from that company the very next week. I would be in middle management and Abby would be directly reporting to me. I have already informed the hiring manager regarding Abby, and they seem to have no problems with it. I also have 2 more job offers and I negotiated with all the companies, and the first company is willing to pay me almost $80,000 more than the other companies. However, my wife told me that I promised her that I would not be in touch with Abby many years ago, and she is asking me to take an offer from the company who is willing to offer the second most compensation. Her reasoning is it would be awkward for me to be Abby's manager, and since we both work in the same field, it is not like I can transfer her to another manager. She insists that it's not insecurity, but I made a promise. She says that it's finally my choice, but she does not feel comfortable with me managing Abby and working with her. I see her side, as I would have to travel with my team, including Abby, for a few days to an on-site location at least once a month. I can see why it would make my wife nervous. I personally want to join the first company as the compensation is higher and the experience in that company would be very valuable to me. Would I be the wrong if I decided to go with the first company? It will offer my family a lot of financial security and would be good for my career. I do not want that taken away because of Abby. At the same time, I want my wife to be comfortable and not be constantly worried about the situation I will be putting her in. And now for OP's update. I wanted to give a quick update. I posted a week ago regarding being confused about a job offer that my wife wanted me to reject because my ex, let's call her Abby, would be directly reporting to me. I know a lot of you pointed out why it is such a bad idea, but I want to be honest here. The reason why I wrote the post was to get ideas on how I can convince my wife that I should take the position. I felt that I have never given my wife a reason to not trust me, except one time, and I should not be making important life decisions that benefit my family because of Abby, who I have not spoken to in 14 years. On Friday evening, we had a long discussion as my kid was at my sister-in-law's place for a playdate. As many of you guys pointed out, my wife might be insecure with me hanging out with Abby, specifically because we were friends with benefits after the breakup. I asked her about it and told her to be honest, as I would never make a decision without her being 100% on board. My wife said that out of all my ex-girlfriends, she felt a bit insecure about her. The reason was because I did not get a clean breakup with her and had lingering feelings, even when I met my wife. For context, when I met my wife through mutual friends, I was still friends with benefits with Abby for a few months after. However, I cleared things with Abby and broke up for good before I asked my wife on our first date. My wife had heard about how I was not able to get over Abby before that, and only agreed to date me after I told her that I decided to go no contact with Abby. I asked my wife if she feels I will be less loyal to her if I am around Abby. My wife and kid are everything to me, and I assure that there are no circumstances where I would even think of stepping out of line to risk that. I also assured her that I will maintain professional boundaries with each of my direct reports, as I have been doing over the last many years, and Abby will be no different. However, if I miss out on this job opportunity because of Abby, I will always feel like irrespective of what I do, my wife does not 100% trust me. My wife said that she trusts me 100% and does not want me to feel like I am doing something wrong. She said she does not want some hypothetical scenarios to affect the important decisions I make in my career, and is okay with me accepting the offer. She asked me to make sure that we set up specific rules about Abby. One of them being no communication outside work, maintain only strictly professional communication, and always over-communicate with my wife about everything about Abby. Abby messaged me on set about how it was great to see me during the interview process, and I immediately told my wife. Based on her idea, I replied back to her on LinkedIn and will make sure any of our communication stays there. I had until Monday to accept the offer. Yesterday, when I went to my office, I was planning to call the other company during lunchtime. However, my manager asked me to come to a meeting room to discuss something urgent. My current company knew that I was entertaining other offers and decided to match the offer from Abby's company. It is not exactly the same compensation, but it is only 20 Kelvin less than their offer. Plus, they also assured me that they would promote me as soon as a director-level position opens up in one of the teams. It was amazing, and I called my wife. She was very happy, and of course I decided to stay at my current job. Overall, I feel happy that I got a big raise at my current place and also know that my wife is not insecure and trusts me 100%. Edit, since a lot of people are asking what the one thing was, adding it here instead of replying. It was stupid. Years ago my wife's friend told me we kissed while drunk and I did not tell my wife. Her friend thought I was her husband and apologized a lot. I told my wife after few days later out of guilt. My wife had seen the whole incident and laughed because I drunkenly pushed her away after she tried to kiss me, which I do not remember, but that was about it. She still teases me and her friend about it to this day.
God damn, I could hear your wife's sigh of relief even from my computer screen. Look man, the fact that Abby texted you right after tells us everything. She is fast, and despite the bare compensation, I wouldn't even consider working there with her. I could already smell the shit that she's gonna be stirring. So it was good that the situation altogether was avoided. Good luck with your new position, OP. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.